Well, Anthony, it's been a busy day. It's always a busy day when you're in town, when there's a fight announced and you've got all these media duties and everything else to do. But how are you feeling? I mean, this fight, it's been billed almost, I think, by Eddie, as you're kind of saving the heavyweight scene at the minute because there's been so much frustration, and you and Dillian, we kind of know what we're going to get. We're going to get crash, bang, wallop. I mean, what do you make of all that?
In terms of the heavyweight division, I think from a top end in terms of championship level, Usyk's coming back to fight Dubois. Good luck to both of them, but it's not. I don't think it's caught the attention of the public the way it should have. Fury's going to announce something shortly, but obviously people wanted the undisputed fight. That was it. At the end of the day, that's what they wanted, and they didn't get it, so they're not happy with that. There's obviously a lot of young fighters out there to compete with. People that want to cross over and challenge themselves against former champions or former world title challengers, but what I'm noticing is that those guys aren't even fighting themselves. So what is it that people want? The reward, I think. People want a big reward. But now, in terms of British boxing, on its own, this is a great fight, I think, for the interest. Who knows what will happen on the night? As much as what they say, me and Dylan have got a rivalry, I wish him well. But I think that this is going to capture the attention of the public. So yeah, I think this is a great fight to kind of save this void period, where nothing. No, imagine what would you have done
without it?
Is there any?
No, we'd be struggling.
British heavyweight boxing.
Well, no.
There's nothing. Is there anything else in
You
that?
mentioned Daniel,
the
obviously.
British title fight just fell through, hasn't it? Recently?
Yeah.
So British heavyweight boxing, no, with Fab and Fraser Clark, that fell through, didn't it? So we would be struggling genuinely. I'm with you on that, totally.
So yeah, it's just for the imagination and keep the interest ticking over. It's like it's a good dust up. Dylan's a serious fighter, right? I feel like Dylan, like many other fighters in this modern era of boxing, get written off quickly. Where when you look back and you read about sports, obviously times change and how people view certain things is different. But sometimes you can look back and get some realities of what's happening now, because it's quite similar. And Dylan would still be considered as a serious contender if he was to fight someone else. Or he's been through what he's been through, but he's going to try and give it. Anyone that's in there will give you a problem. Anyone that gets in that ring and they train for a fight has a chance of winning. And Dylan, he's coming game.
I was going to ask that, as in we spoke to Dillian earlier, and he said, back then he said, I was just a thug who could have a fight. That's how he's seen himself. There's no denying that you massively improved since that night. I was looking up to ringside, and Dillian has as well. But what do you see as the big improvements in Dillian? Do you think it's just his boxing IQ? It's come with experience, a more rounded fighter? Are you expecting a tougher Dillian on August 12th?
Yeah, definitely. I think more calculated.
Yeah.
Even though, as you said, when you put two thugs in the ring that can fight, it looks great. It looks unbelievable. We call it defining fights and defining performances. A defining fight is two thugs in there. It's because one's got to win.
Not done much.
But it looks
so
good.
Quick.
That's why it looks good, because it's entertaining. But as a coach, he's probably looking at him what's he doing? I told him don't do that. I told him don't throw that shot. Why is he getting caught with that? And that's why you need defining performances where you can beat someone without even getting hit. That's how good you should be. I don't need to go in there and trade off with a guy. I need to be separating myself from the pack. And I feel like now, with his experience, my experience, hopefully it'll be a good fight, but more clinical, smarter. And I don't think it will just be as gun-ho and gun-blazing, but I think it will just be still a good, there'll be fun moments in the way he hits me. I'm going to hit him come on then. If that's what you think you still got, I'm going to show you what I've got, and we'll have. But it'll be smarter. I think it'll be smarter, definitely.
Interesting, before you just referred to yourself as a former champion. Now, from someone that's been at the very, very top, as you have been, and we know that obviously you had the Usyk fights and everything else, does that really hurt you to say that to yourself, or is that something you managed to get over now, and something that you think that, oh no, I will be back there, but that's the way I have to refer to myself at the moment?
I have to refer to myself as that. Even though I don't even I'm just a fighter. Even when I was champ, I didn't get too carried away.
Right.
But it did hurt losing it. It hurt if I was to balance up what had more of an impact on me, winning or losing it. Definitely. You know what I mean? Winning it, I was just normal. But losing it.
Well, he knows about this too, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's weird. Can you weigh up? What do you weigh up?
No, it is. It's much harder to take, isn't it? And then I think you could have that bounce back ability, can't you? But you think, nah, I want to get there again, and I'm guessing that's yours, isn't where you think that's the aim, to get it back, to have that feeling of winning it again.
I think winning it back, I don't know how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I think it looks quite easy from the outside.
No, I don't think so, to be honest.
Winning it back is going to take a lot. And it's just like, it's going to be interesting to see how much I've got left. August 12th is the test.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every fight is leading towards something. And that's why it's so interesting for me now, because it's like, what do I have left? What desire do I have? Because amongst the skill and experience, I've gathered a lot of experience over the years. It's like, sometimes, like what we said back then, 2 thugs in the ring, that could also take you far. When you have that fight, that inner steel, and it's like, but because of the history of fighting and boxing, fighters only have so much steel in them before it gets knocked out of them. There's only so many tough fights.
It only lasts so long.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how much steel I got left.
You two were chatting just before we started this, and you're asking him about retirement, and you're asking him how busy he is. Did he think that was going to be the case, and all that kind of? I'm not putting words in your head. I'm not. But is that kind of? Because you're saying what's left and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, you have to think.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, it's just a natural progression of sport and life. Yeah, so it's not like I'm thinking of it because I want to do it. I just think it's like, I'm not going to try and shut certain thoughts that are naturally happening out, because, you know, I'm going to be 34. I'm like, damn, where the hell did the time go? I can't believe it. You know, when I was watching like Riddick Bowe and these guys, and it'd be like 34 when I first started, I'd be thinking, oh, they're old, man. Like, all right, look, what are they still fighting for? They're crazy. Like, if you listen to a lot of younger fighters, they'll be like, yeah, I'm done at 30. Yeah, I'm going to be done when I'm 28. When you first start, like you're like, I'm done at 28. Then 28 comes, 29, 30. you're still there, 32, 34. Next minute I'll be 40 in training camps, still sleeping in a little single bed.
No, but that was 7 years ago.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What's going on in 7 years, hasn't it?
No, it's crazy.
It's just crazy. That's why, because it's the reality. And I just think, how long am I going to be staying in a single bed in a training camp, napping in the afternoon, battered, like these 20-year-old sparring partners coming to take my head off? You know what I'm trying to say? It's that's why I ask these questions, like, what's it like? Because you've got to prepare. It's the same thing. Dylan, Wilder. Fight now, what's after? You're always looking ahead. Always.
Well, that's the plan, clearly.
You mentioned sparring partners then, so finally from me. It's only just over 4 weeks to fight night now. I'm guessing in the back of your mind, yours and Derek's, you've been thinking there's a good chance it could be Dillian. Have you had like the specific type of sparring in now, or will you now adjust to that? Now you know the fight's a done deal, because obviously
it's hard. Well, now it's a done deal. To be fair, at one stage it wasn't. At one stage it was. But it's in a weird way, the sparring partners we had were quite similar. Like we didn't. I feel like the only similarities. We've got really good sparring partner, Jamie TKV, Hunter, Jeremiah. They're really good, and they're not gonna mimic him perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. But there'll be bits that you can take from each of them.
And the good thing is, they're giving me the right rounds. They're not standing off. That's what I like with the sparring partners I've got. They're not standing off. They are giving me the rounds I need. So when you've got a sparring partner, you need them to work you, right? You need to be in there with a sparring partner that's pressing you. That's what I was saying to my coach. I was like, yeah, they're giving you work. Every second of every minute, they're giving you work. And I was like, it's tough. But we're doing like we're on the 12-round sparring already now. So we're like smashing out 12 rounds. I'm going to be really conditioned for the fight. I just got to make sure I'm clever defensively. I don't have any leaks, because Dylan's a good counter puncher, strong guy, and if I can make sure I'm tight, I'm secure, I should be victorious.
Very final one. Last time that we spoke, you were giving Crolla nutrition tips. You were telling him it was Guinness and Black, I think.
Was it? Guinness and Black, didn't you? Forgot about that.
No, that's what you were intrigued with, the Guinness and Black, and he was appalled because you don't.
Try it. You won't let me have the black.
So have you got any other nutrition tips for him?
Nutritional tips. Let me think of one. Let me think of a nutritional tip. It depends though, like what you want to get out. Like, try lion's mane.
No, do you know what? I have very good stuff. I have very good stuff about it.
Brain.
Yes,
Because obviously fighting,
brain food, isn't it?
Brain food. You don't realise like your brain obviously. probably eats up most of your oxygen, most of your energy. You need to feed your brain, and specific foods, like, you know, all the stuff. If you train, you need a protein, you need carbs for this, you need... But what do we know? Our brain needs specific foods as well, so stay on that.
There we go.
Top AJ tip. Anthony, all the best. Thank you very much indeed.